Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We are halfway through the month of March. I believe today is the 16th, 15th to the 16th. And we had a really strong windstorm come through here last night. And I'm really surprised I didn't find any heavy limbs on our electric fence. Figured we'd have a few, but we didn't have any. The power's still up. I got 7,900 volts this morning. Anyway, I'm with the bulls and the steers, and we're on the new farm. I came off of Doug and Joanna's, and we've got quite a bit of grass in here, but I don't want to just take off across it, grazing it just yet. So we're buying time by unrolling some hay. I've got them slowed up on their rotation. I don't want to go in here and chew the baby's grass head off this, in the next couple of weeks. It really slows up your summer growth. So by just having some hay already stored up here and not wanting to take it through the second year, that is 1-year-old hay. I just bought it back in August of 24. But it's sitting there. We've got it. And so I'm unrolling some of this. And you can see the bulls aren't real crazy about chewing on it right now, but they just got a fresh pasture. So what they're going to do, they're going to go through and eat the green, which isn't very tall. It's probably 4 inches. You get down here, I'll find a uniform spot. I've got a coat over my head to block the wind, because it is windy up on this ridge. Yeah, so I'll just pull one off. There it is. Yeah, it's 4. It's around 4 inches. This is fescue. I did see down the valley a while ago there was quite a bit of clover already popping its head up, which I was pleasantly surprised. Here's a clump of broom sedge. There's not very much broom sedge on this farm. You look across there, you'll see a few plants, but by and far, you'll see a whole lot more big blue stem on here than you will the broom sedge. They're both warm season plants, and so yeah, the bulls and the steers are looking good. Our herd grew. We had 55 head, and it's 56, and we brought 24 over, so that's 80. So now we've got 80. Most of these are bulls. The 24 we brought over were all bulls. The steers this year that we banded, we put them in with the heifers. So we got, I believe there's around 80 head in that herd as well. And they're with the weaned heifers. So they would be litter mates. They're all born in 24. And then of course we got the cow herd. Everything's gonna be calving there April. Starting in April, May. And so yeah, the bulls are still got the winter hair coats on, of course. Yesterday it got up to 70, and the last 3 days it's been up 70. Now, believe it or not, Isaac told me this morning, I couldn't believe it. He looked at the weather, it's supposed to snow tonight. That's right. So we had 70 degrees yesterday, and tonight there's a chance of flurry. They're saying an inch accumulation. I don't think we'll get an inch accumulation. The ground's too warm. But we might. I don't know. If we do, I'll definitely do a video on it, showing how adverse how quickly the weather can change in Missouri. It hit 77 degrees on Thursday. We've been over at the Hit farm putting in water lines the last 2 days. We've really made good progress. One more day, we'll be over half done. And we're putting in 2-inch water lines, frost-free tanks, 5 of those, and then 10 quick coupler, the plastic quick couplers, which are buried in the ground. You just plug a hose into them like you would an air hose, and you got water. And the thing I like about the plastings is they're buried. They're in the ground. And the cattle can't, they can't rub on them. They can't bust them off. Stuff can't chew on them. They're buried, 20. Ours are around 26 to 28 inches buried in the ground. And When I was at Manderley Farms here about, I guess that was around 3 weeks ago. It was the third week of, yeah, it was 3 weeks ago, third week of February. Elson had come up with a really cool tool. He designed it where you can reach down in a quick coupler housing down in the ground, and he's got a steel control arm that goes down in there, and then it's got a lever on the side that actually compresses the male spring on your water hose, so you don't have to reach down in the hole. And so for those of you up in Minnesota, well, you can also use the same tool to plug them in. So I just had a guy email me, Greg, how deep do you need to get those plastings so they don't freeze? Well, it depends where you live. Here in Missouri, we're at 30-inch frost-free line, and I don't have a single one that's in 30 inches. And I've got, altogether, I've probably got 40 or 50 of them around the various farms. I've never had one freeze. Most of mine are 24 to 26 inches. And the reason I get by with that is I put a 6-inch pipe around it, so I've got the warmth of the ground. Of course, every one of them's got a cap on them, so the weather can't get in there to it. And I just don't have them freeze. Now, in Minnesota, that thing would freeze solid. You know, up there where Georgia's at, northern Minnesota, I don't know what I think some of his water lines are 6 feet. You know, you got to have that when it's minus 40 below for weeks at a time. We're not in that temperature here. We'll get down to minus 13 wind chill for a week, maybe, but we don't get actual temperatures of minus 40 below. I don't think it's ever been recorded in Missouri. Maybe it has, but anyway, the lines that we're running are 2-inch. So that makes a difference too. So you got 2 inches of water out there. A 2-inch water line to freeze, it's not going to do it. I haven't seen where it will do it, but anyway, we're slowing them up. The bulls and the steers are getting just a little bit of this stockpile with every bite of green. And I went by a manure pad. Of course, I'm standing on a fresh paddock. You're not going to see any manure out here. I drove by one when I was unrolling this hay. I'm telling you what, for those of y'all that have wet pastures, and we just got a rain last night, it's a little bit wet out here. If I'd have had a tractor, I'd be leaving ruts. But, you know, with the great Judy Bale lawnmower, which I was just standing beside a while ago, you saw it. You can order those on our website, greenpasturesfarm.net. They will save your farm. Y'all see any ruts out here? You know, we've unrolled hay here, and there's just no ruts. And where we just came from, Doug and Joanne's, there's no ruts over there. The neighbor's got a 150 horse tractor. You hear him firing that dude up, getting it warmed up, and I mean, it's a big tractor. And also he's got, I'll probably get chastised here, but he's got the big cows, and he's got them locked in about a 2-acre lot over there. And it's a feed lot. There's no grass. There's not a single sprig of grass in there. And he's got that big old tractor, and he's just cut that lot all to pieces. Of course, that's where all of his fertility's at too. He's not going to grow a blade of grass in there. We're here, we're moving, we're keeping the animals out on the landscape, and we're moving them, and we can do that because, you know, we're looking at 900 to 1,000 pound cows. They don't destroy the farm. But by unrolling the hay out on the landscape instead of in a barn lot, or worse, feeding them in a barn, well, then you got to haul that stuff out of there. Y'all got all that extra time, especially you guys that work in town like I used to do? You got time to do that? When you get off work, you want to go out there and scoop manure and haul it out? I don't. I want the animals to do it for me. You see a lot of the bulls, they're not even eating the hay, but by tomorrow morning, see, they're only moving them once a day. Tomorrow morning, that strip of hay will be gone. They're working it over. Because we fed one up in the other paddock yesterday morning, and we're getting early starts today. The last 2 days we started at 6:30 in the morning instead of 7:30, and it just gives us another hour over there to trench with Johnny and Anthony and his bunch, and Sean to get their farm watered up. There was one day that we put in, I think we left at 6:30. So we were there, you know, 10 hours, and it just takes a while to put it in. But the thing about water is once you put it in, it's there for your life. If you put it in with good materials, you shouldn't ever have to dig it up. If you use junky stuff, cheap products on water, you're in for just a life of nightmares. Because it's going to be breaking on. You're going to be out there on a cold, wintry night, digging down in the mud, trying to get your water fixed. So use the best. And I do have to apologize for the wind. I'm doing my best. I've got a cave here around this camera. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and we're actually going to the Green Pastures Farm Walk today up north in Dennis McDonald's. Those of you all in Missouri that like to go on pasture walks, check it out. Green Hills Farm Project. I'll get it out in a minute. Jan's the secretary, and Christina is the president. And they have a Facebook page. It's Green Hills Farm Project, and we have a pasture walk every month at someone's farm, and everybody that is welcome to come. The dues for a whole year are $20. So I don't know if y'all can. It's cheap, but it's a group of farmers. It's a group of farmers. We all get together and we look at what that farmer's doing on his farm, and discuss options and what he's trying to accomplish and results. And it's interesting to see how other people do things. And I think the biggest thing about it is the contacts and the people you meet, and what they've done something that may be relevant to your farm. And then of course at the end, or sometimes even before we go on pasture walks, there is a meal. And this is not a meal that's purchased at Walmart. These are home cooked. Everybody brings a covered dish. And I remember going to a thrashing when I was a little boy, a thrashing dinner. And that's what it reminds me of. I mean, really, really, really good food. So check it out, Green Hills Farm Project. We're actually on the calendar for June. We're going to be hosting it at our farm. And yeah, check it out. But do bring a covered dish and bring lawn chairs. And maybe we'll see y'all at one of the pasture walks. So anyway, y'all have a good one. And we'll be seeing some of y'all in Canada next weekend. I'm headed to, it's Creemore. It's outside of Toronto. So it sounds like it's going to be sold out, but we'll see some of y'all soon. Take care.